What's up guys, my name is Ace, and the big update that we were able to pre-download for Modern Warfare, update 1.29, that actually went live earlier than anticipated. Initially it said it wouldn't be installable until tonight, however it was installable last night. So today we're going to be going over the details of this, and it's going to be a very quick video because not a lot really changed on the front end of what we can actually see in game. Most of this update appears to affect things behind the scenes and the integration between Cold War and Warzone. So the first thing you'll notice when you boot this game up after the update is it will ask you if you want to install high resolution textures. And what they did here is they managed to cut down on the storage space on your console by about 25 gigabytes. However, you do have the option to install these high-resolution textures, which will require a download, and it will make your file size bigger. So they're kind of making it optional. Either you have lower resolution textures and a smaller file size, or you deal with that larger file size, but you get those high-res textures. As for the next thing you'll notice, the menu is very different. The main menu here, instead of being able to choose between campaign and co-op and multiplayer and Warzone, now at first you choose between Cold War, Warzone, or Modern Warfare. So this is really going to be that big push trying to get people to try Cold War out, I believe. And I think it's also just designed to show players that these are three clearly separate games, or three clearly separate sort of modes. And to go along with that further, when you actually enter into Warzone here, it will inform you that your class setups are finally isolated between multiplayer and Warzone. So now we have 10 loadouts that we can use in Modern Warfare multiplayer, and 10 loadouts we can use in Warzone. They're completely separated now. And this makes total sense because once we get that integration with Cold War, obviously we're not going to be able to use the Cold War weapons in Modern Warfare's multiplayer, and therefore we would need completely separate loadouts for Warzone. And I'm really happy to finally see this. I really wish the game would have just launched like this, or Warzone. I really wish they would have had their own loadouts from the beginning because I found that really frustrating. As soon as Warzone dropped, now 6 of my classes were for Warzone, and then I've only got 4 for multiplayer. And that's basically how I've been treating things since Warzone launched. Now on top of this, quite possibly the highlight of this update is they finally integrated private matches for Warzone. And this is something that you guys know I've been waiting a really long time for because it would make testing so much easier for me, because as of right now, I have to take 2 consoles and 2 accounts, search for a game at the same time, and then hope we get into the same match, and then I'm trying to control 2 characters at the same time without getting kicked from the game. It's been really difficult to test things in Warzone, I'll just say that much. And this is something that, hopefully in the future at least, will make this a lot easier. And the reason I say hopefully in the future is unfortunately there is a minimum player requirement to enter a Warzone private match. So unlike Blackout, where you could hop in just as a solo player and go explore the map all you wanted, you can't do that in Warzone, at least not yet. They have mentioned this is a beta version of private matches, so hopefully down the road we will have the ability to go in solo so we can just explore the map by ourselves. But as of right now, for Standard Battle Royale, you need at least 50 players to start a match, which is quite a few. Plunder is 30 players, and then Mini BR is going to be 24 player minimum. You cannot start the game unless you have at least that number of players. So at least as of right now, this is more so for like tournaments, or for us content creators if we wanted to host a game, for instance, for all of our viewers to play in and then maybe spectate that on stream. That could be fun. Maybe I'll try something like that once the initial hype dies down for Cold War, because I'm going to be way too busy with Cold War to be doing anything like that. But it seems like that's really what the private matches are about currently. Also, it's worth noting that there are no customizable options for private matches yet. Again, it is in beta. I'm hoping down the road we'll have full control over everything, like circle speed, for instance, and maybe even the ground loot, the type of ground loot that we have available. I think that would be really cool if we could control all of those elements. But yeah, as of right now, most people probably won't even be able to really take part in these private matches in Warzone. Unless you have some sort of connection or you're just extremely popular and have a ton of friends, you're probably not going to be able to take advantage of this yet. Now, another thing you might notice while going through the Warzone menus is in Warzone at least, they have now combined all of the factions together. So when you're selecting your operator, it's now just a big list of all the operators you can choose from. And presumably, when Cold War launches, they're also going to have all of the Cold War operators there as well that will just get added onto that list. And that likely explains the size of this update compared to what we're actually seeing. I bet they added all those operators in behind the scenes, and we just don't have access to them yet, and those will show up once Cold War officially launches. Aside from that, not a whole lot really changed. We did get the Griggs operator bundle that we've been expecting, so you can buy Griggs if you want in the store. Unfortunately, no butterfly knife yet, though. I thought that would be coming with this update. Who knows, maybe it'll come tonight or early tomorrow when the update was actually supposed to come out. I don't really know at this point. But we are expecting a butterfly knife before the end of this season, which ends in just 2 weeks. So I would anticipate that's going to pop up at some point here. And then we have a really interesting thing to cover here. If you go into the leaderboards, it turns out they've added a leaderboard for Rebirth in Warzone. And this is something that was teased in the roadmap for Season 1 of Cold War. They said there's going to be a new Warzone experience, and there was a reference to Rebirth Island in Kazakhstan. And now, with this update, we can see a leaderboard for it, which I'm not sure if they intended for us to be able to see this at this point, but it's there, clear as day. And therefore, I would say it is very, very likely that on December 10th, the beginning of Season 1, we are going to be seeing a brand new Warzone map, but it's going to be a miniature version of a Warzone map, kind of like Alcatraz from Blackout. So I believe it's going to be sort of that side mode, that side experience, while still having Verdansk as our main map and our main Battle Royale mode that we have. But yeah, I'm actually really, really looking forward to this. I'm excited to see how Warzone would play on a smaller scale like that. And then everything else seems to be like bug fixes and just stuff going on the back end. Nothing that's really going to immediately directly impact your gameplay experience, unless you're one of those people that's been experiencing one of these bugs that got fixed. And I'm not going to go through all of the bugs that they fixed because there were a lot of them, and most of them you guys have probably never seen or heard of before. But of course, I will leave a link to the full patch notes down below if you want to check those bugs out. I should mention, I guess the one bug that a lot of people will probably be happy to see hopefully was fixed with this, or at least apparently it was fixed with this update. This is that texture glitch that would happen mainly on PC. To my knowledge, it's not something that happens too often on console. It's mainly on PC, but it's when you pick up a gun, for instance, and then you have this crazy texture glitch coming from that gun where you can't see anything going on in front of you. Apparently, they've worked that out with this update. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's going to cover it for today's quick video on this very large update that didn't actually contain a whole lot that we can see at this point. And this is where I want to hear from you guys. First up, what do you guys think about the fact that we finally have separate loadouts for multiplayer and Warzone? And also, what are your thoughts on the private matches? Is that something that you see yourself taking part in, especially if they eventually open it up so you can hop in solo? Do you see yourself actually jumping in and just exploring the map by yourself, trying to find some interesting spots or something like that, maybe just testing stuff out? Or are you not really interested in that at all? Just let me know those thoughts down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.